Hi, Jeremy Crow here. This video I'm going to go over the concept of aliens. Now usually when you hear the word alien, you generally think of some sort of sci-fi Martians or big-headed, big-eyed creatures that come in a flying saucer and abduct you and give you anal probes or something like that. But generally the word really, if you break it down, it just means foreign. It's essentially the same word as foreign, and you even have humans that are earthling humans that were born and raised on Earth that are considered aliens by other people because they came from a foreign nation. Whether they're illegal or illegal aliens, but they are referred to by the word alien, and it's legitimate. That's not the kind of alien I'm going to talk about here, as I think you probably know. But I wanted to break it down to that basic level because foreign is really the root of it. It doesn't necessarily mean outside of the planet. So you have a couple main types of aliens, really. So you do have what's referred to as an extraterrestrial or an ET. And this would be an entity or an intelligence. Usually we're referring to intelligent beings when we refer to aliens. Some form of intelligence, but not always. For the purposes of this video, let's just narrow it down to relatively intelligent life forms. Extraterrestrials would be aliens that are foreign to our planet. So if there is life on, let's say, Mars or the moon or whatever other planet within our solar system or beyond our solar system, those would be extraterrestrials. That's the type of alien. And now there are a few different types that people claim that exist, that are in existence and have actually been interacting with humans and visiting Earth. And there's at least 4 types that come up a lot. And you have the classic, the gray. People refer to them as the grays. And they have the big head, the big eyes, the skinny bodies. And they are sometimes thought of as drones, in a sense. Or not exactly alive. Maybe some sort of remotely controlled proxy for something else that's even further out. Something that we might do in the future if we have robots that we can project our consciousness to, or we can remotely pilot as avatars, in a sense. So something like that, some people believe that that's what the grays that people have experienced, that's what they are. Some people believe that they are humans from the future that have evolved to be less physically muscular and have bigger heads, which means probably bigger brains. Another type of alien that you'll often hear about is the reptilian. Now, these are reptile-like humanoids, and they can sometimes shapeshift. This is what people say about the reptilians, is that they can disguise themselves as regular humans, but really they are more reptilian in nature. And there's even people that talk about human reptilian hybrids that are living amongst us, including the royal families, or some of the royal families being reptilian shape-shifting lizard people. You probably heard that term before, probably in a joking manner, but there is a conspiracy theory about this, about how there are these reptilian human hybrids that are calling the shots, or they are pulling strings behind the scenes. Now you have another form of alien that's talked about a lot called the Nordic race of aliens. And these are called that simply because they resemble the Nordic type of humans that we have here on Earth. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, pale skin type, they would pass as humans. If they were to walk amongst us, you would not suspect them to be anything but human. And maybe they are officially, technically human species, or a close relative of human, or something like that. Who knows? If they were to exist and they look just like us, who's to say that they're not related to us, or exactly the same thing, just perhaps from a different planet? Like maybe from like Stargate, the Stargate TV show, where there's tons of planets in the solar system and other solar systems beyond that have humans living on these planets, and they are actual humans, but they're still a form of alien because they're from another planet. So there's one more type that's often talked about in these circles, and this would be the tall whites. Now, these are extremely pale, relatively humanoid figures, but they are taller than the normal human, much more pale and pasty than a normal human, and have some other features that are a little off, that with a lot of help, that they could potentially pass as human if you weren't looking too closely. And I don't really know too much about that particular species of extraterrestrial alien. Maybe you can, if you know something about what typifies that particular type, maybe you could put something in the comments about what they're supposed to be all about. Now, you also have interdimensional beings. So this could be in the same physical space in a sense, but in a different dimension. Or on a different frequency band, or within a different frequency range, or in a different phase. Something along those lines, where it could potentially be inhabiting the same physical space, but not interacting most of the time. Or it could be wildly different physical space and in a completely different dimension, and that's how it's alien. You could have interdimensional beings that are non-physical, or otherwise referred to as non-corporeal beings or non-corporeal entities. Now, these could even be dream characters. A character within your own dream could be considered a type of non-corporeal entity. And so it's hard to tell whether or not you should really consider these non-corporeal beings as alien or not. Maybe some of them are alien and maybe some of them are not. But you have this concept of alien. If you look it up in the dictionary, it's also unfamiliar, or even to the point of slightly disturbing. So if it is an unfamiliar type of entity, and even maybe gives you a bit of the creeps, that could still be considered alien under the strictest definition of the term alien. Now, you have one other type where it's alien in the sense of it being unfamiliar and potentially disturbing, but not alien in the sense that it's not from the planet, but from a different part of the planet, like we were discussing before. So it has those other elements where it's a different part of the planet, it's unfamiliar, and maybe a little disturbing potentially. And this would be inner Earth dwellers. So this would be people, or not necessarily people, entities, whether they are physical entities or non-corporeal entities is another question, but that dwell within the hollow earth, or the center of the earth, or within caverns within the earth. But they are a separate species. There's this one theory out there called homo capensis, otherwise referred to as the coneheads, where they have these elongated skulls, and they are a species of human that's been on the planet that is separate from Homo sapien, and they are highly intelligent and secretly pull the strings of human society. That is one of the ideas that's out there. And there are a lot of people that believe this. So these are some of the main types of aliens you have. I guess I probably shouldn't skip over the fact that some people refer to some of these non-corporeal entities that are alien as angels and demons as well. So some people believe that when you refer to aliens or the different encounters that people have experienced with aliens, that usually those are actually demonic forces or potentially angelic forces that are just quite disturbing and potentially interpreted as being malevolent, because angels are a lot less friendly or nice than most people generally think of in pop culture, according to religious tradition at least. So those are the various different forms of aliens. Have you ever met an alien? Have you ever interacted with one? Have you glimpsed any sort of unexplained phenomenon that you want to say might be related to aliens in some way? I'd love to hear your story. If you leave it in the comments below, I'll read the comments. I'll read every comment and I'll try and reply to it. And until next time, everybody, stay lucid.